Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Clash of the Reds podcast. A instant reaction to Liverpool beating PSG 2-0 at the Parc des Princes. We're also going to be discussing in today's episode Arsenal's latest defeat at Southampton, and also, of course, us kind of steadying the track at Sporting Lisbon yesterday night. Today with me to discuss what's been happening with Arsenal and Liverpool. Zahid, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Surviving the early hay fever outburst today, especially because the weather was so good. Just happened to be the day I forget to take my antihistamine as well, so I struggled all day. But yeah, no, not as bad as watching Liverpool sit deep against PSG. Not as bad as seeing us ripped apart by City. Yeah, I mean, just nothing good is happening at the moment. Yeah, that's the best way I can say it.
Fair.
Yeah. Otherwise everything's fine. It's like that meme of the dog in the room on fire.
The burning room,
Yeah. That's how I feel right now.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, if there's anything that's been positive the last few days, the weather in the UK has been absolutely great. So,
Yeah, it's the only positive, really.
Today was an absolute scorcher. Obviously, I'm normally in the outhouse, like recording these, and normally I have to have the heating on full blast in here, electric heaters. Today, definitely don't need to do that. Like it's nice and warm in here, a bit of like a greenhouse effect. But yeah, man, like Liverpool, like where do we start? Like the deflected goal from Desiree Doué, not closing down fast enough, like 5 at the back, like yeah.
I mean, if I bring up SofaScore, so I can go through the stats are ridiculous. But even if we start with the lineup, pretty much. So I mean, PSG had players who weren't available. I think what's his name? The main midfield guy. No, actually, because Zaire Emery, I think he only plays because someone is out injured at the moment. But anyway, Slot said he had to change something before this game. I mean, obviously after the City game. So what did he do? He decided to play according to SofaScore, it was a 3-5-2, but effectively it was a 5-2-3 or a 5-3-2. And I think the aim was to try and grind out a result or just damage limitation, really, going to PSG, and hope to have not too bad of a deficit to overcome at Anfield. Notably, obviously Gakpo didn't start. There was rumors on Twitter that Rio and Gamur would start today ahead of Gakpo, but obviously with the change in the formation, that wasn't the case. He was also on the bench. We had 3 at the back with Gomez, Van Dijk, and Konate. And then obviously we had Kerkez and Frimpong on the wings. I mean, we didn't really offer anything going forward. I think we had 0 shots on target. Our XG was atrocious. Let's have a look. We had 26% of the possession, 0.18 XG, 0 big chances. We had 3 shots. I don't think any of those were on target, actually. We got pretty much dominated by PSG, and that was based on the formation and based on the form that the team's been in. Eventually, after we went 2-0 down, Slot decided to make changes, and he brought on Isak, he brought on Robertson, and he brought on Curtis Jones, and he brought on Gakpo. But critically, he also took off Wirtz, who was like our only creative outlet, and it would have made sense to keep him on the pitch with attacking options coming on. But I guess that wasn't the case, really. There wasn't much of a performance. I mean, the notable thing as well was that Salah was on the bench and he didn't come on at all. Yeah. And I don't know if that was a reflection of the trust that Slot tried to put in him during the match against Man City, and then the chances that he missed. I mean, I was watching back the highlights recently of that game as well, and we actually had, I mean, potentially in an alternate universe, we could have been 3-4 up within the first
before the first goal. Yeah,
yeah.
And that's something that's plagued Arsenal kind of all season as well. That inability to just finish off their chances and costing the team really.
But yeah, I mean, both the games have been shocking. I mean, there's obviously it's not great for Slot with Alonso being out there, waiting to see what will happen. But from what I see from the club, it seems that they're planning on keeping Slot next season and maybe trying to recruit some more players next season.
Do you think that'll be the case if he doesn't get top 5? Because they're always top 5 now to get Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get top 5, then I think the club's going to be forced to make a decision to get him out. I don't think they necessarily want to. I think they want to try and keep things stable. And I mean, he's got, how many times can you say, he won the league in his first season in charge. There's been obviously so many changes. I mean, we've spoken about it throughout the season, about Diaz leaving, not being replaced, losing, Jota as well. Isak came back from injury, was out again. He's only just come back today. It was his first game. Frimpong's been in and out of injury constantly. We lost Leone to an ACL. Just loads of stuff. But I think one thing that I noticed today, especially, is I think on the second goal. Sorry, the first goal was just unfortunate. I mean, it comes off. I think it came off 2 players, looped over Mamardashvili and went in. So it wasn't great. But that was early on in the game as well, which isn't fantastic.
It just allowed PSG to just dictate.
Yeah, exactly. They had the 1-goal lead and they were at home. The fans were incredible. But the second goal hit home for me because Kvaratskhelia just sort of glides past Gravenberch, and it just highlighted to me that we depended on Gravenberch so much last season to put in such an incredible performance. He was a linchpin of the team last season, and with all the signings that we bought in this season, somehow we didn't manage to buy an actual defensive midfielder because that's not his natural position. That's a position that he's taken up based on his ability to be a bit more versatile in that sense. But that's not his natural position. We've just become accustomed to that this season. And the fact that we didn't sign a defensive midfielder is just very frustrating. And then even if we talk about the City game, we were linked with players like Semenyo and Gehi in the January transfer window, and we didn't get either of them. And you see the shocking performance that Van Dijk had, giving away the penalty, just sort of not being aware that Semenyo had just glided past him. I mean, I guess you could say that Koke's tried to play him offside as well, which was just non-existent.
And the general feeling of Van Dijk is not being up to the pace of the game. General awareness that he was so elite in previous seasons.
I mean, you could argue now like he's living on his past reputation for sure. But I mean, it's also the club's fault for not having recruited correctly, leaving the Gehi thing until last minute, and then it doesn't go through, and then City end up signing him instead in January. It's just farcical, really, considering how good of a window we had.
We spoke about this on WhatsApp, basically during the Man City game when it was like 3-4-0. It was just like, go back to a year ago, and Liverpool were negotiating deals for Salah, so 300k a week, negotiating deals for Van Dijk for 300k a week, and I made the point to you that fine, past performance could give some indication, but really the contract should be based on projections of future performances rather than solely of what they've done before.
I think the club have generally been quite staunch about their perspective on players plus 30. It's just that they happened to make an exception for
these two in particular.
For these two, and obviously it's gone badly, and they should have stuck with their policy, really. But hindsight is a great thing, right?
Of course.
So it's hard to say how things could have been if we lost both of them. Maybe we'd be complaining about other things instead. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why Slot wouldn't play. I mean, Salah in the Champions League always raises his game, and he's always up for it, especially a game against PSG. I don't know. I guess he wanted to. Maybe he'll play him in the second leg because obviously he'll be chasing the game. But yeah, maybe he went out for a more defensive formation. I mean, I haven't seen his comments post match, so I can't really say what his thinking was. But I mean, just Twitter is hilarious. They're talking about how Slot's been talking about Premier League teams sitting deep and not playing football, and then finally he comes up against a PSG team that wants to play football, and he's the one that sits deep.
Yeah, there's a clip going around after 5 minutes of the ball being kicked out of play by Szoboszlai, and then Liverpool going for a throw and it taking a full 45 seconds for it to actually take place.
Yeah, pulling out Premier League tactics for the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, there were also other things where there was a challenge that Konate made, which was initially given as a penalty, but then on review with VAR, the referee decided goes to screen, and then he overruled it because Konate made contact with the football. But that was after he'd already gone through the defender or made contact with the defender. In the Premier League, I think that would have stood as a penalty. I don't think the ref would have changed his decision. And then the other thing that happened was Konate pushed, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Dembele, in the back, inside the box, and he fell over. Or maybe it was Doué. But anyway, I was like, that's a Stonewall penalty. I don't know how
nothing was given.
VAR checked it and said it wasn't given, unless they thought it was a soft penalty to give. But in the Premier League, that would have been given as a pen. So there's definitely inconsistencies in officiating between domestic and sort of continental
Europe.
Football.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's as much as I have to say.
It's Fulham on the weekend for Liverpool, and I think Fulham at home for Liverpool as well, isn't it? So
I'll tell you now, we're going to lose that game. I can tell you now. Fulham will beat us. I'll tell you now.
No, well, maybe only because of these European fixture ties.
And Fulham are a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they
Fulham are a good team.
Yeah, they are. They are. Harry Wilson and obviously ex-Liverpool academy graduate.
I mean, they're sitting 9th in the table at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're coming back to that stage of the season where teams like Fulham, teams who are kind of mid-table, I mean, they might be trying to go for a Conference League spot, but in around that,
they've kind of got nothing to play for. They're kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah. You hear the phrase they're on the beach at this phase of the season. But we'll see if that's true. I guess
because some teams, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes as it comes towards the tail end of the season, some teams are just we've got nothing to lose. Let's just go out and put a performance on.
Yeah, it's true. Literally.
Honestly.
Yeah. All right, let's change tack to Arsenal then.
Happily.
So on the weekend, Arsenal crashed out of the FA Cup. 2-1 to Southampton. Mikel Arteta making 7 changes from the team that lost the cup final. Notably, Kepa Arrizabalaga kept his place in that lineup. And for the first part, Arsenal weren't looking too bad up until Southampton were able to kind of get on the ball and play those long balls over the top that just sent Arsenal into kind of complete disarray. Defensively, really, really un-Arsenal-like. The one thing that Arsenal have been solid at this season has been getting to his headers, defending the air quite well. And they just really, really struggled with that. And then Ben White inexplicably missing the header before Southampton scored the first goal. And then, Arsenal kind of toiled. Arteta made some changes. Max Damon was moved out from the right-hand side, moved into the middle. He was our best player of the night by far. Having to run on a year 11 student, basically to bail us out for a lot of stuff.
Insane, by the way. He's
yeah.
I I mean, even Twitter after the game was just like, it was like, oh, Max Diamond, youngest player to get knocked out of the FA Cup and all this sort of nonsense. Oh.
And he made history last night again as well, the youngest player ever to appear at this stage of the Champions League knockouts as well. So yeah, just incredible, really. And even last night he made a difference for us. Fouls, almost scored from a set piece from it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what comes of him as time goes by, because obviously there's risk. Like, obviously there's players that play a lot of football when they're young and then they don't have a long career. So it just depends on how he's managed, really.
Yeah, and I think it's quite sensible from Arteta in terms of how he's using him as well. Yeah, and we got that equaliser going back to the Saints game, got it back to 1-1. Gyökeres got his goal, 17th of the season. There was a lot of criticism for Havertz in that match, but he came up with the assist. Once he finally had someone to kind of do some 1-2s with, rather than Jesus, who was completely absent from the game in a lot of ways, really, really fallen off compared to the player that he was. Yeah, and at that point, like, again, Southampton had one shot on goal, and immediately it went in after. Gabriel went off with a knock. And I was telling my brother, who's also a big Arsenal fan, but beforehand, like, I wasn't really feeling this FA Cup. Not because I don't love the FA Cup. Arsenal have a great history in it. It's just every time we've kind of gone far or had the Champions League, I'm thinking back to the Invincible season. We've had the FA Cup semi-finals and the Champions League semi-finals immediately after. And it just feels like it's too emotionally draining, it's too physically draining for the players to kind of go through two sets. So whilst I'm never happy for Arsenal to lose, I remember Slot made some comments after crashing out of the League Cup early in the season, saying, he was almost happy.
Yeah.
Knocked out. And there was a sense of that, I guess. Like, for me personally, I do wonder whether if Arteta was in a private room and you asked him, like, are you secretly happy about this? And the fact that Southampton also drew Man City,
it could have been you. Yeah.
It could have been us, and it would have been us playing Man City 2 times in a week following the game at the Etihad, and then follow up with the Champions League semi-final potentially. It does seem like a lot. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously, nonetheless, it's still disappointing to go out. It was a second string team, and we ended up getting like a second string result at the end of it. And I don't think Arteta could complain too much about it.
There's a few things that were interesting that I thought was interesting, because like all season we were going about how Arsenal have got 2 players for every position.
Yeah.
So technically, should they not have been fine playing against the Southampton team in the FA Cup, considering they should have like-for-like replacements? Another thing that was interesting, I felt, is you're talking about long balls over the top. I mean, you had Gabriel Mosquera. Mosquera is supposed to be like, this breakout guy. I can't believe you didn't have to spend a lot of money on him, and he looks so solid. So what happened to him against Southampton? And then what do you do with Kepa? Like, he's failed you in the Carabao Cup, and then he's failed you in the FA Cup as well. I mean, could you have potentially, in hindsight, could you have just played Raya? Yeah. Is there a risk of him getting injured? I mean, is he injury prone? Like, why not just start?
Yeah, I think from Arteta's point of view, and not to relitigate the EFL Cup final again, but it was just kind of loyalty to Kepa, the fact that he got us that far. Yeah. But like he not having Raya just impacts the entire team, really, because he acts as a sweeper keeper. He's so good with the ball at his feet.
I mean, we'll talk about the Champions League game, but yeah, just
so short in possession. Yeah. Like, his ability to draw attackers on and to beat the press. And like, if we're thinking back to the cup final, like we looked so lost without him in terms of like getting those balls out, like trying to beat City's press. They had a 4-man man marking system where they basically marked our entire defensive back 4. And nullified it, and Raya is a big reason of how we kind of come out of those sticky situations. As we saw last night, man, like he was just supreme. Like the first 4 minutes,
He was your
Sporting
best player.
plays-
He was your best
Sorry?
player against Sporting.
Yeah, man of the match by far. But the Sporting player plays an amazing ball through the defense, over the top, like
Diomande, I think, outside of the foot.
outside of the foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Arjau, I think was his name.
Araujo, I think. Is it
Araujo, yeah. And I thought it was a certain goal. And initially, on first looking, I was like, okay, it's hit the bar. Like, that was lucky. But Raya gets the faintest of touches with his fingertips to knock it onto the bar. And I was just like, wow, man. Like you, you just know if that was Kepa, like that's going in. And like, it's just levels to their game, really.
Yeah, definitely. He was the difference against Sporting for sure.
Yeah, and I was looking at Sporting. I was like, they set up in a very, very similar way to Arsenal, just in terms of like positionally, how they sort of man mark, their structure. There's a reason this team hasn't lost at home since August. 17 wins at home in the league for them.
They were very disciplined for the entire game, pretty much, until that one moment where I don't know if it was the left back. Basically, Havertz is left alone in the middle of just outside the box, and then he has his chance and he takes it.
Yeah, I mean, like all credit to Martinelli. Like he, for me included, has got a lot of pelters this season from a lot of Arsenal fans. But Champions League Nelly kind of shows up when he needs to, man. Yeah, like he was direct. He wasn't running with his head down and trying to put a cross into no one. Like, he was direct. He kind of had an anticipation that Havertz or Gyökeres was going to be running into the space there. And Kai Havertz like finished like so nicely. Again, I was also kind of reluctant to celebrate because we had a offside goal ruled out before for Zubimendi in that half also. So I was like, is it a goal? Is it a goal? And like, okay, they're fully celebrating this time. It's just the weird world of VAR and football.
Who are you playing next in the Premier League?
We've got Bournemouth on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff.
They'll be up for that.
Yeah. And Bournemouth are also on an unbeaten run as well. The last time they lost, the last time they lost was against Arsenal in December.
They've had what, the international break as well as the FA Cup weekend, and then
they'll have a lot of time to prepare for us.
Yeah.
But I think from an Arsenal, it's just massive. The chance to go 12 points clear before City kick a ball, before they go to
playing Chelsea away.
Yeah, before they go to the Bridge on Sunday. It's just huge. So like, I think really, really important that Arsenal get a good result against Bournemouth on Saturday, because I think psychologically, if we can get 12 points clear, it might have a similar effect to what happened when we beat Everton and then they had to go and face West Ham away. So like really, 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 really big game for Arsenal on Saturday, and just hate 12:30 kickoffs as well. It's just annoying, both from the perspective of like obviously having to get there a bit earlier as well. But so and also like if the result doesn't go your way, it kind of ruins your entire weekend.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me think of the whole thing about the West Ham Leeds game as well, about how fans left the match 2-0 down and then tried to get back into the stadium.
Oh man!
For extra time, they weren't allowed in. Some like forced their way in, or something along those lines. Man. But yeah, classic West Ham meltdown, and then promise, and then meltdown again.
It's just like don't desert on your team when they need you the most, man. Like they need you at that one moment to like help them like whatever way that you can, and like try and be the 12th man. But and you know what,
Max Kilman as well. After he gave away the penalty or something, so they're booing him. Like, how can you boo your own player when he's playing? It's just insane, honestly.
It's crazy, man. And the thing is, it's not exclusive to West Ham fans. Like see it at the Emirates, like it's 0-0 against Everton in the 88th minute, and I'm seeing fans leave, man. And like we're actually having a go at these guys. Are like, why are you leaving for? Like you're
Bro,
still
I've left the Emirates before, and
yeah.
it's taken me hours to get home. There's
Oh,
nothing
no,
more annoying than that you're queuing up for the station, then you tell you the station's closed, go to the next station.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
actually
like
nice to get out.
as a diehard fan, I mean, you don't want to be leaving.
Yeah. I mean, if the game's done and dusted, like fair enough. But like with 0-0, with it all to play for, it's just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, like that would be a big match for us. But in terms of thinking about the sporting tie, like going back to the Emirates with a 1-0, with a 1-goal lead, really sets us up nicely for that tie. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how Arteta uses his squad and in terms of thinking about like possible rotation, whether you might have one eye on that match. And also, like it's a massive week. Also, if we think about the title race, because the following weekend we've got City away. So
you're at home to Bournemouth, then you're away to Sporting, and then
no, we're at home Sporting.
Oh, sorry, yeah, at home, and then away to City, yeah,
and away to City.
And you got Newcastle after that, and then Fulham. So
yeah. So thinking a little bit about, I guess, Man City, like I don't think there's any argument to be made that they're like on form, they're the best team in the country at the moment. Like they beat us 2-0, they beat Liverpool 4-0. Haaland as well. What was it, a hat trick he got the weekend? I saw counting.
Yeah, he got a hat trick.
Got a hat trick. Yeah, I mean, like he basically went on a bit of a drought.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's back to his best?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he was playing against the Liverpool side that kind of gave up, as Van Dijk said. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on the weekend. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Chelsea are in disarray as well at the moment. Like, how can you have? I mean, Enzo is the captain, right? Enzo is their captain.
No. Reece James is the captain.
Oh, then is he vice captain?
I think he might be in the leadership group. Yeah.
To have him talking about the club in that way and talking about
but the funny thing is, it wasn't just him. He was singled out for it, but Cucurella was asked questions about his future. He kind of made similar comments. Even Caicedo made comments about wanting to potentially go to Madrid in the future as well. So it wasn't just Enzo, but Enzo got the harshest punishment.
Interesting that he got done for it then compared to the rest of the team. But maybe it's because he's in the leadership group. I don't know if the others are. I mean, they should. I guess Caicedo might be potentially.
Yeah. Hey Khalid, how are you, bro? Nice to hear from you. Yeah, no Enzo or Reece versus City. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, the time when we kind of need them the most to do something for us, from an Arsenal perspective, it's just peak, absolutely peak.
What are the chances Reece James will be fit for the England squad for the World Cup? Well, how many games is he going to play? Like, it's just insane how
it's weird. He's had like a good run this year.
Yeah,
of like being relatively injury free from his standards anyway. And you know what, when he's been able to get a run of games together, he's looked really, really good.
It's such an interesting contrast. Just thinking about the Madrid Bayern game versus the Arsenal Sporting game, and how one was very attacking football, both teams going to win, and the other was sort of pretty much a stalemate, really.
Because
I think I was watching mainly the Arsenal Sporting game. And then I had I should have had the other way around. Yeah, literally hate watch. But yeah, no, I wanted to see because obviously I was prepping for today, so I wanted to see what the outcome would be. But yeah, I mean, the Bayern Real game was interesting in the fact that Vincent Kompany is this tactical mastermind now. You know, how they sort of targeted it's weird. Like Real Madrid are an odd side. They have like their goalkeeper who can basically stop anything, and then they just have players of individual brilliance that will go and win them the game. That won't necessarily. That will just sit literally like goal hang, like those friends that you have that you're playing like five-a-side or whatever, and they just stand next to the goal waiting for the ball to trickle towards them. Or, that's literally Vinny and what's his name? And it's just and it's just like it's so frustrating. Like it's all about the stars and their individual brilliance, and club fans are so toxic there, and the demands that they have, and the way that the club is run, how they treat the managers, is just farcical. But they still managed to get it done, really. And what the game ended 2-1, so Real are still in it.
Yeah, and it could have finished 2-2 as well. It could have been 2-2 as well. Mbappe missed a couple of really good chances right at the end as well, man. So it was annoying from my perspective as well that it happened to be on at the same time as the Arsenal match, because it's one game like you really want to watch. Like it's a final, but like it's a final basically, like worthy of watching. So Kai's asking, would you take Trent to the World Cup, Zahid?
The problem with Trent is that if you were to take him to the World Cup and you played him at right back, just like Bayern did, and targeted him, they had Diaz up against him, and there was that clip of him just like shuffling around, not knowing what to do. Diaz just running past him. He might get isolated if he's not supported. Like if he's not got like a right-sided midfielder who's also supporting him defensively, then I think he would struggle. Creatively, he brings so much. Like he's such an outlier. So if you need someone to put a ball over the top or spray a pass to spread the field, like we know the quality that he has. So he could be like your curveball that you would take to the World Cup potentially. But
for sure, man. I mean, I've always described him as like David Beckham at right back. Like
they tried to play him as an inverted, like
midfielder.
Southgate did try and bring him in to midfield. It just didn't work. So he's an excellent footballer going forward. I mean, I saw him lock out Leroy Sané for Liverpool against City when City were when Leroy Sané was like big time. So I don't know, man. Like I've seen him defend well against attackers, and I've also seen him not do so well. So he's a bit of an enigma, and he's almost like you don't know where to fit him. He doesn't fit into this generation of football, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Exactly what you mean. Like, you know, you can imagine him in the 90s side on the right wing, like spraying balls in. Yeah, it's just for me, like just because of his pure talent, like you know, I take him to World Cup in a heartbeat for sure.
It was a bit like the discussion about whether England should take Daniel Sturridge to previous World Cups and like what he brings creatively and how he can open up teams. And we did end up scoring a goal when I remember he ended up scoring a goal that like helped us out. And I don't know if it was a group stage or knockout phase, but yeah, it's just like it's those maverick players that you have that you potentially take.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Tuchel doesn't seem to be too impressed with him. So and he didn't come out so well against Real in the first leg. So let's see what happens in the second leg. But yeah, I mean, I could see him not going to the World Cup. I think, is it Lewis Hall? Is he left back or right back? The Newcastle player.
Yeah, I know. Livramento plays right back. Lewis Hall plays left back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking wrong side. But yeah, it was a discussion about Lewis Hall and whoever else the left back was when England last played. But anyway, yeah, I would say maybe if I had the option to, I'd add him into the squad.
Yeah, for sure. Carlos saying Madrid and UCL just so got pressure and the Stars winning the game. Yeah, I rarely see them dominate. I mean, most teams don't. I mean, sometimes I guess it depends really. Think about the likes of PSG, Bayern Munich, and I guess it also depends on opposition as well, right? Who they're playing. This current iteration of Madrid for sure. Definitely agree with you, Khalid.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own like biased gripes against Real Madrid and why I hate Madrid, but yeah, it's just pace merchants up front who refuse to defend or don't have, or their egos are too big to even consider defending. I mean, you see some of the clips of Mbappe like swiping the captain's armband off players and stuff like that, and all that kind of weird stuff, like the mentality he has. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking actually, what if these players have like these random clauses in their contracts, say like, if you have this many minutes with the armband on, you get a certain bonus or something.
Yeah, some bonus.
Do you know what I mean? Something weird like that.
It's stuff we don't ever kind of hear or find out about until like the careers are over.
Yeah.
When you mentioned about the discussion about someone going to the World Cup, so obviously after Diamond scored against Everton, there's that discussion about him like being taken.
Yeah, could he be the Theo Walcott of this World Cup squad?
Yeah. I was just saying, just keep him away from all of this hype, man. Like, just want to protect him as much as possible.
Yeah.
But like, if he's coming on and changing games for Arsenal and like, you know, scoring goals and stuff, like the calls are just going to get louder and louder for him to go.
I mean, I hope it doesn't, because when Theo went, it was a complete waste of time. Like nothing really materialized.
I think.
Yeah.
He was 17 at the time, and like hadn't played a single minute for Arsenal at that moment either.
And that was the England golden generation as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, around about like 2006 time. So yeah, it's just a weird moment. Well, we have on our agenda here, like, will Arsenal bought the league? So obviously there was this discussion after this quadruple talk was kind of building up. And I have to add, like, this wasn't talk from Arsenal fans. Like, what we saw in October, the likes of Jamie O'Hara talking about Arsenal winning a quadruple in October 2025, and it's like you're setting up a team essentially to get them to fail. Like, fine, they lost the cup final, and it was always a stretch to go and try and win another domestic cup, let alone a league. I mean, this is a team that hasn't won the Premier League for 22 years. This is a team that's never won the Champions League in their entire history. To then put this added pressure on them that they have to win a quadruple or they have to win multiple trophies, otherwise it's a failure. It's just farcical. I saw a lot of that, even from us on the weekend, and it was just like, come on, man.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, it was the same for Liverpool, like when we had Klopp and we were fighting on four fronts. I mean, it's always there as a carrot to then dangle when it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you start dreaming as well. But there's a reason why it's never been done, you know, because it's just impossible, really, to have the squad depth to be able to manage that.
Exactly. No one else thought about the quadruple going into the season and what the league. Yeah, for sure. I think
is it still the league over the Champions League? It's like, are Arsenal fans kind of sort of unified on that, the league over the Champions League?
From the majority of Arsenal fans that I've spoken to, they want the league more than the Champions League because, one, it's been so long. For me, like, I've seen Arsenal win the league a number of times. I've never seen us win a Champions League. Yeah. So, like, for me, like, the Champions League just takes that notch a little bit higher because we've never won it in our history. But yeah, like, I fully resonate with that sentiment, and as well, like, people are kind of making the argument that for this current project, for us to lose the league in this position would be really, really damaging. As well as thinking about morale and like this whole thing about getting over the line. But again, the only way of kind of beating those doubters, beating those haters is by actually doing it. And like, it's a massive few weeks now for us as Arsenal. So yeah, Khalid's saying league for sure. We can't come second again. Yeah.
I mean, I can't see you. I mean, 9 points clear. I can't see a capitulation now. You're out of the FA Cup. The League Cup is done and dusted. So you've got less games going into the end of the season. Obviously, still Champions League is there.
It's just managing the Champions League, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, City are on form now, so they can go on a run. They can put pressure on you. I don't think they can gain 9 points on you before the end of the season.
They have a game in hand on us. Like that's the key thing here. Mm-hmm. And if they do beat us, if they beat us, then it adds that added pressure.
Let's say worst case scenario, it's a 3-point gap. Then, if they win their game in hand and they beat you, you've still got that 3-point cushion there, as long as you don't lose any of the other games.
I mean, if we just pull up the fixtures, and I absolutely hate doing this, but I still have more faith in our fixtures than their fixtures. So after the Man City game, so you mentioned Arsenal, Newcastle, Fulham at home. So Newcastle at home, Fulham at home. Newcastle aren't that good away from home at the moment. Like they're quite bad travelling. And it's West Ham away on the 10th of May. Then it's Burnley. And then ending the season with Crystal Palace. And then for Manchester City, obviously now they've got nothing else to worry about other than the semi-final of the FA Cup.
They've got they're away at Chelsea and they're at home to you, away at Burnley, and then other than the FA Cup, then it's
FA Cup weekend, and then Everton City, Brentford at home. So Everton's won't be easy either at that point.
No chance. That'll be a tough game for them.
It'll be a tough game for them. Bournemouth, which is scheduled for 17th of May, and then obviously they have the Crystal Palace match, which I think will probably go into game week 36. Crystal Palace at home, and then they end the season by facing Aston Villa, where obviously Emery needs
Imagine it comes down to it at the end of the season, and Emery is the reason why Arsenal win the league. Oh God, would you forgive him then?
Maybe. We'll have to let it be bygones over bygones, I guess, at that point. City look good, and I think this is the point here. City look good, but they have to be near perfect to win it. And I agree. Like they have to make sure they come out of the bridge with all 3 points. They have to beat us the following weekend, navigating a semi-final against Southampton. I think that they'll beat them quite well, but it's more about the pressures and the fixtures. What the table will look like going into these games might shake us. Yeah,
I think
and similarly as well,
on the top of the table who have to maintain that position have more pressure than the team chasing. Because I can see City going on a run of wins. So
and the pressure also kind of falls back to them as well. Like if we win on Saturday, the pressure's on them to go and get a result on Sunday. So. It's going to be an interesting run in, and it's all there for Arsenal to win. And then I think that the one thing that the cup exits have done, because the FA Cup, it's given us clarity about who we're going to be playing. It's going to be the first team going forwards, maybe a bit of rotation depending on injury and fitness. Will it be Saka or Louis Madueke on the right? If Eze's back, will it be Eze versus Ødegaard? I think Jurgen Timber has to come back straight into the team as soon as he's fit as well. I
think Eze would start ahead of Ødegaard, no?
Say again?
I think Eze would start ahead of Ødegaard.
I mean, you say that, but Ødegaard is our skipper. So, but again, based on form, Eze should be starting, right?
Yeah.
It was funny that there was a lot of hate for Ødegaard last night from Arsenal fans over his kind of lack of penetration, his backward passing. There was a clip going around of him basically doing 1-2 to Declan Rice for like two, 3 times, going backwards without him turning and looking into space. At the moment, I didn't really have a problem with that because Sporting were onto us. So like actually keeping possession at that moment in time in terms of thinking about the game wasn't the worst thing to do. But for sure, man, like we need 22, 23 Martin Ødegaard, like the guy who was like firing in shots from outside the box, had like 15 assists that season. Like, yeah,
it's weird that these players. We even had it with Diaz, we had it with Mane as well. We've got it with Salah now, but these players that are so effective when they're direct, something happens, and then that ability to take on a man just disappears. That they lose that from their game over time. I don't know if the game just develops or what happens, but the directness is lost.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I think what you mentioned about the game developing, I think, and I've taken references before, like how the game was 3-4 years ago in terms of how teams set up, very different to how it is now. But also like just things like fitness and confidence. Like Odegaard had a really bad ankle injury last year in international break. He fell on his shoulder twice this season, back to back. Had a knee injury, like recurring knee injury this season as well. So things like that, I think really impact him. But I think as well, like just having him available just eases that pressure a little bit and kind of gives us a different profile for when we need to just keep hold of the ball out from the back. We kind of lose that kind of technical quality, I think, when he's not in the team a lot. The other argument as well with Odegaard is like him kind of treading on Zubamendi's toes a little bit. Like there's a bit of redundancy in those positions between him and Zubamendi. Like Zubamendi is basically in the 10 position and Odegaard's back there in the 6. Like, yeah, there's a lot of frustration with that as well. But again, it's kind of thinking about Arteta's system. I don't know how we've kind of sidetracked to talking about Odegaard and his form. But yeah, it is interesting. But I think it was the general point about squad depth and how that will be important going towards the end of the season. I think. I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think Arsenal won it? Do you think it's Arsenal's league now? At this point,
yeah. No, I mean, it all depends on what happens with the City game in hand.
Game, yeah.
The momentum is with City, considering Arsenal have lost 2 games, but they've been 2 cup games that aren't necessarily affecting the Premier League outcome. So I can see. I mean, that's Arsenal's bread and butter, right? I mean, the Champions League as well as the Premier League. That's where the players step up. That's where they've been focused so much so far this season.
City will have a full week to prepare as well because they won't have Champions League football to worry about in midweek either.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's going to be a close finish to the season. As long as City can keep winning, then keep the pressure on Arsenal, then it's just waiting for Arsenal to trip up. Really, it's basically who blinks first more than anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go towards the end of the season because obviously my team has absolutely nothing to play for. So it's just all about the hate watch at Arsenal now.
It was so funny, like seeing like the preseason predictions from all the pundits, TNT Sports, like the clips resurfacing of like Ouch, Joe Cole, all these guys sitting on the sofa saying, yeah, it's that Liverpool absolute favourites to walk this league this year. They're going to win it all. Like all of this talk, and then it's mentioned about Arsenal. Like, yeah, will Arsenal this year? Do they have a chance? No chance, Arsenal. Like Joe Cole saying this sort of stuff, and it was like, oh man, like yeah, it's just absolute gold if we can finally get over the line, man. Yeah, like kind of proving that was wrong. All right, guys. I haven't said this at all, but yeah, please, if you're in the stream, if you're in the comments as well, please like and subscribe. Please share this link as well. Predictions for the weekend, Zahid. Like, let's finish up with Arsenal, Man United. We'll do a bit of Man United, even though Man United just on international break. And there's no Man United representative here today.
There's nothing to talk about United. I mean, other than I guess Harry Maguire signed a 1-year extension to his contract and reduced his wages to stay at the club. Yeah, that's interesting.
They've got Leeds Monday Night Football. I think at home.
That's a massive game.
Yeah,
that's a huge game because United and Leeds hate each other.
They do, yeah. It's a bit of a derby, yeah. In that way.
So that'll be a good game. And obviously United have had loads of time to prepare, so they should be absolutely fine.
Leeds literally had a semi-final. They played last week, a quarter-final, but yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they've had busier running than United. I would say
Yeah,
if we start with that game, then I would say I'm going to go 2-2.
I was thinking the same. I think United might just pip it being at home. I still think Leeds will be safe, but yeah, I think United might just pip it. Let's go for Liverpool Fulham. You already predicted Liverpool loss, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we'll lose 2-1 or 2-0.
Okay. I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be like a 1-1, or a Liverpool win. But yeah, I'll go for 1-1. Okay, Arsenal Bournemouth. What do you think, Z?
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. Interesting. No, I think we'll beat Bournemouth.
That's an optimistic prediction, by the way. I expect you to beat them.
Okay.
But 1-1 is probably the best. The best I'll get is Bournemouth score early, hold out for the entirety of the game, and then Kai Havertz unlocks the defense somehow, and you draw 1-1, or even go on to win it 2-1.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Khalid here. I think we win 2-1 for sure. Yeah. It might not be pretty, but I think we'll get over the line, and especially if we get Timber back and hopefully Saka.
Why did he miss out? Why did he not play against Sporting?
He's been injured, man. Like there was all this crying.
He was actually injured, yeah, compared to the rest of your players on international duty.
or all this crying about Arsenal players faking injury.
11 players, like 11 players recalled from international duty.
I mean, look, Hincapié pulled his hamstring playing for Ecuador, so he withdrew from the second game. Obviously, Gyökeres did really, really well playing for Sweden. Saka obviously was in the red zone. Probably went to England duty carrying a knock anyway. We saw Noni Madueke like hobble out of Wembley with the.
That was performative. Come on.
like legit injury. Like the one I was most surprised about was seeing Noni come on the weekend, because he was literally hobbling out with a knee brace, and he looked like a really bad challenge as well.
Yeah, no, that was it was an international friendly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the need to play like that?
Honestly,
it's South American teams, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so hopefully Saka will be back for that match. And I guess we should have a prediction for Man City Chelsea. I think if we win, Chelsea are still so bad at the moment, man. Especially if they're banning Enzo as well. I was going to go for an optimistic 1-1, but I think City might pip them 2-1. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I could see. I don't know. I feel like either the team will use it to propel them forward, and it will help them against City. But yeah, Chelsea are just not great at the moment. So, and then City on form. Haaland is on form as well.
Yeah,
Turkey's playing great. Then you got Semenyo in the mix as well. So, and then Nico Riley. Like, I think City will have too much for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, hopefully, Rosini and his men aren't expecting the ball too much, or like aging or whatever quotes he wants to come out with.
LinkedIn Liam.
Sunderland Tottenham is the other picture I just want to bring up, because obviously a bit of added interest with that relegation battle there. Tottenham away to Sunderland. No, actually, that's not this weekend. Is it this weekend? Yeah, it is this weekend. Yeah.
Sunday. 2:00 kickoff on Sunday, because West Ham play Wolves on. Is that a Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night kick. Yeah, Friday night football. Yeah,
that's a huge game. I mean, not so much for Wolves, but for
West Ham.
If West Ham win that game, they will be 2 points ahead.
All the pressure on Spurs.
Yeah.
Come on, you Irons, man.
Come on. For Tottenham can't go down, man. That would just be absolutely. There's no topping that, really. They'll never come back from that.
Arsenal winning the league and Tottenham going down in the same season Like, forget everything else. Like, nothing could ever top that from an Arsenal fan's perspective. Nothing could ever top it.
Oh God.
I think if West Ham beat Wolves, then Tottenham. I think Tottenham will draw against Sunderland. I think
The
Sunderland probably
interesting thing that I would like to see, sorry to interrupt, is how De Zerbi is with this squad.
Yeah,
Because he's had the international break and blah 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 to sort things out.
I mean, that's why I'm not saying a loss. It's the De Zerbi factor. I think he'll kind of get into them a little bit and have them a bit more structured. But
I mean, it'll be a new manager bounce sort of thing.
Yeah, but like going to the Stadium of Light isn't easy for most teams this season. So that's why I think it'll be a draw. But a draw won't do them any good if West Ham win on Friday.
Yeah.
So
they'll be in the drop zone if that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, who have they got? Their remaining fixtures, just to quickly check. Yeah, so they're away at Sunderland, then they're at home to Brighton, then they're away at Wolves, away at Aston Villa, then home to Leeds, then away at Chelsea, and then at home to Everton. I mean, all of their games are difficult.
I mean, even the Wolves game on paper, you'd expect them to beat, Brighton expect them to beat, but like they're not easy to get matches at all.
No.
Excuse me. Yeah. Like Villa expect them to lose. Leeds is a good pointer there because they're both kind of scrapping to get out of that drop zone there. So yeah, it's tough. Obviously, I heard Rory Jennings saying, he would love to be able to relegate Spurs at the Bridge. It'd be pretty funny. Khalid saying about Spurs, their players are playing against them. Van Dijk tries to get a red every game. Yeah, they just quit, right? Absolute quitters. Van Dijk obviously getting
Van der Ven.
Sorry, not Van Dijk. Sorry, Van der Ven. Obviously getting inspiration from Romero in terms of recklessness. Like honestly,
what a farcical appointment that manager was.
Igor Tudor.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him a little bit. Well, obviously not only because his father passed away, but also just again almost being set up to fail in some ways. Like taking over before the Arsenal match. They're not really getting having a chance, and this whole thing like, you should have appointed a manager with Premier League experience. Spurs fans saying really bizarre stuff. Should have given it to Harry Redknapp. Should have given it to Tim Sherwood. Like all this sort of stuff was just kind of nattering on in the background, and just didn't really get a fair chance at it. I don't think. Yeah. But yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
I mean, my biggest regret this season is that they got a point on us. So.
Yeah, for us as well, man. I was raging the managed to get an equaliser in the last minute against you lot, man. Just like, come on. Like, this team hasn't won an entire match for the entirety of January of 2026, and they managed to get a point at Anfield, which, yeah, it's so frustrating. I think we should leave it there. Again, if you've been listening to us ramble on for the last hour, thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys again, hopefully this time next week. Hopefully, maybe in our regular slot on Monday. But thank you guys again, and we'll catch you guys again soon. Thank you very much.